version of the city council. Hope everybody wore their Kelly green or a version of green today. And we'll go ahead and get started with our agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Mr. Creel, seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Any discussion?
None.
There being none, call for the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Welcome, everyone. And again, happy St. Patrick's Day. See a lot of smiling faces and a little green out there, too. So I do have a few updates, but I'd like to ask Judith Brandon to come up and give us a little report on the Pink Ribbon, Heart Funds, Pink Heart Funds, excuse me. Thank you, Judith.
You want me to do it?
I'll just get one.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
And I'm also going to start two different things, one on each side, just to kind of look at it and ask knowledge on it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't show up without it.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is Judith Brannon. I'm the Vice President of Pink Heart Funds. Before I start talking about the reason I'm here, I'd like to just ask the council and mayor, as well as the attendees in the office, how many of you have been affected, either personally, family-wise, or good friends with cancer? Okay, I think I can almost complete my talk now. It's very unfortunate. Cancer does not go away. It has no loyalty to one person or another. It hits almost all of us at some point in time. And our organization, Pink Heart Funds, works directly with patients in the lower 6 counties of Mississippi. We are a nonprofit, a 501c3. We constantly fundraising, so I'm here today to ask for some consideration. I'll tell you what we're doing. I think it's especially special here in Biloxi. Our two biggest events, that which is being run by Pink Heart Funds, are here in Biloxi. So what I've passed out is information about who we are. First of all, we work with men, women, and children, and we work with all cancer patients. We're not just breast cancer. What we do is provide free wigs, free breast prosthetics and bras, free lymphedema sleeves, and our most active category is financial assistance for those folks who just need a little bit of help for a short period of time. We work with the social workers and the nurse navigators at our cancer centers across the coast to make application. We don't have deep pockets, so we can't take on a lot, but what we can do is put out a fire for a moment. If you'll think about, for example, a waitress who works her shifts but doesn't have any long-term care. Maybe she's underinsured or uninsured, and she can't work because when you're going through your chemo process, it's pretty brutal. So what we can do is help with a payment for rent. We can help with utilities. We can help with a car payment. We do not give patients money direct. We help pay their bills. And there's a very strict process that we go through with the hospitals to make sure that we have ourselves covered and our I's dotted and T's crossed. The two fundraisers that Pink Hearts is driving, and the reason I'm calling these two out is we have a lot of people who do fundraising for us and we receive funds from them, but we're not necessarily the people that are producing it. You'll see, I passed it kind of backwards on the council. You'll have one sponsor package for Splashing Out Cancer. That will be Saturday, April 18th, and it's down at Point Cadet Park. Y'all know where that is. It's a 5K run. It's also a family walk and a family day. We've joined forces with the YMCA out of out of Ocean Springs and Pascagoula for their Kids Healthy program. So we're expecting many hundreds of people in your city, which is good. It's good for your restaurants and for all of you. The other organization that we're doing is Saturday, September 12th, and that is known as Out of Bounds. Out of Bounds will be held at the Slavonian Lodge and will focus on prevention and early detection, and with a highlight to men's cancer. Our speakers and things will be talking about that. It will be more like a ball, but it's going to be very informal. It has a sport theme, so y'all come in your shirts and support the teams that you do. We'll have games, we'll have a band, but all in all, we are fundraising. So that's in essence what I'm here to ask, is your consideration to do some sponsorship for us. The other cities along the coast, I've already have done presentations. I'm having quite success, so the pressure's on for you guys to support us as well. And I'm open for questions or comments.
Thank you.
Okay,
Quick question. So you said this is a coast-wide organization, correct?
it is.
Okay. And so you got events, you said in Hattiesburg, Biloxi, and in Gulfport?
No, it's both of our
Ocean
events.
Springs.
Yeah, both of our events are here in Biloxi,
Okay.
at Point Cadet and at Slavonian Lodge. We're all volunteers. That's the other thing I wanted to say. So the money that we raise, other than our overhead, goes directly to patient care.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate the good work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions or anything? I'm going to leave a packet with your clerk, so she'll have everything she needs as you discuss it, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Send lots of money.
Thanks, you, Judith. Appreciate it. And let me give you a little follow-up on, I think our cruise ship is due to come back on this Sunday at 12:30 and depart Monday at 12:30. And there'll be one more trip after that in March. And then we'll begin again in October weekly through November and December. And then I think on into 27. So it's pretty exciting. I think they had some bad weather the other day and they stayed in port in Gulfport. But again, it's very interesting. I think the excitement is there, especially to see a 330-foot boat on that back bay. And I think that concludes my report. Yep, that does. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move on to council reports. We'll start with Mr. Gray.
Right, thank you. Me and Mr. Marshall had our ward meeting last week, Monday, or this Monday. Oh, no, last Monday. It turned out good. We probably had around 200 people. We did a poll. And on the poll we did, it was for millage increase. It was raising, how do you want to increase revenue for the city? Millage increase, hotel room tax, or 2% restaurant tax. So we had just wrote yes or no. So we had 29 people on millage increase voted yes, 97 voted no. Hotel room tax, we had 99 people voted yes, 26 voted no. 2% restaurant tax, 58 voted yes, 68 voted no. So it's just a kind of a poll that we just kind of put out there, just kind of see about raising revenue. And we'll get on to that, I guess, during budget time. So it's just something we just wanted to try to put out there to kind of see. I mean, I would say I would like to, if we did a hotel room tax, have it where, you know, a couple of dollars went to Parks and Rec's equipment, money went to public safety, and some went to paving and sidewalk repair, because we all know that's our biggest expense that we struggle finding money for. And anyway, that's my take. And we'll get Ms. Christy Labata a couple questions for you. Can you give us an update on the sidewalks between Hopkins and Monackey, where they put the new poles in?
On Howard.
Yes, ma'am, on Howard.
So we've been working with Mississippi Power to have them pull their wooden poles. They were waiting on all the other utility companies to get off of those poles before they could pull them. We are down to just one or two poles that have utilities left on them. We put pressure on those utilities. I believe it's AT&T, but don't hold me to that. But we put pressure on them about every 2 weeks. Jody Ewing in my office stays on top of them. Once they get those last two off, which hopefully will be soon, next couple of weeks, Mississippi Power will be able to follow up with pulling the wooden poles, and then they're going to go back and the areas that have the limestone, they're going to go back and place concrete in those areas. We do know that the new poles have also created another issue on the sidewalks with ADA. We're trying to come up with a plan, working with Mississippi Power, how we're going to address that once the wooden poles are out of the way.
Okay, and we got item O, P, and Q as the two, about we're closing out 2 accounts,
Yes.
2 projects, and we create, now, can you tell us a little bit about that? What's going on with that?
Yes, so those are projects that we generally fund. We use our MIMA, our internet use tax money goes into those to fund what we call a repair replace contract. Originally, we had them separate because I think we did all paving in one, and we did all other type repairs in the other municipal repairs one, just to keep it straight. Did that years ago. Well, periodically on these projects that run a long time, we close them out and kind of start them over because we have to keep accounting for that every year. Every year it has to be audited. So we like to close them out and kind of start fresh. So we talked about doing that, and that was the initial reason why we decided to go ahead and close these and start new ones. But then we also decided there's really, at this point, there's no sense in having 2 separate projects. It's the same kind of money that goes in there. So we just going to combine them into one, close those out, and then open a new one.
Okay, that's all I have.
That's
Thank
where we'll
you.
put the internet use tax money.
Okay.
Yep.
Before you go, I'm going to be asking you later about Reading Street, so you might want to start looking it up.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
End of Reading Street.
Jamie Lee. Can you give us an update on the signs for the George Lawrence Pavilion and Point Cadet Park?
We spoke with the sign shop, and they have the materials ready to go, ready to make it. All we need to do now is get a date together that we're looking at doing the dedication, and then they can have the sign up, ready to go for whenever the dedication day would be. Whatever day is good with us, as long as we get a little notice, make sure it's not booked for a day. A weekday, of course, would most likely be better than a weekend date. Okay. So the council wants to get with administration, kind of come up with a date, let us know. We'll look and see if it's available, and we can go with it, advertise it, and go.
Okay, have we had time to look at the padding at the splash pad?
We have, and what we are going to try to do is we're going to try to block off that playground area, secure it the best we can, notice, put signs, barricades, whatever we can to keep people out of that area, and we believe that we can get the splash pad back on for Good Friday.
All right, thank you. I want to yield the rest of my time to Parents on a Mission. She's going to come up and give us a little presentation, tell us about her mission. Thank you.
Councilman. My name is Tasha Connors, and I am the founder of Parents on a Mission. This Parent on a Mission is dear to me because I have a daughter who has a disability, and the challenge that us parents have is that we have nothing in the community for our children and our adult children. And I found out one of the challenges, my daughter cannot get on the bus because she has to walk all the way to the bus stop, but she has CP and she's legally blind. So I'm asking the councilman and y'all, what can y'all do to help us to bring stuff back in the community for us parents who have disabled adult children and children, to give the parents some kind of relief because they don't have nowhere, no resources at all. They have to go to Gulfport, they have to go to Ocean Spring to take our children, which we can have it here in East Biloxi. Do you have any questions?
This is not question and answer, but certainly we can direct it to a proper channel to get some of your questions answered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Connor. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Mr. Marshall.
I'll come back to me.
Mr. Neal.
Okay, first of all, I just want to let everybody know, I work 7 days a week. And this council, I work hard for it.
And the Broadwater property, I went riding around with the code enforcement, the police last week, and we took pictures, and we looked. And as far as homeless people go, we ran into maybe 4. So the big myth of the Broadwater Golf Course is full of homeless people is not a true statement. They're out there, but they're not like everybody thinks they are. And we met with Roy Anderson Jr. the other day, and they're going to start cleaning that property up in the next couple of 3 weeks. So you will be seeing a big change out there shortly, and cutting the grass and, keeping it up like they're supposed to. And I just want to get that straight. And Hiller Park, it's still got a hole out there by the pond that needs to be filled in. And as far as the pavilion goes, what is the status on the pavilion? Where are we at on that? The looks of it. Jamie?
The graffiti that was on the middle column has been painted over. The handicap ramp was repaired, and what we're looking at now is bringing in the Knights Peter Claver group to go through the pavilion, shore it up, get the benches, some loose boards strapped down,
Okay.
get it all put back together, and then once, of course, using the treated wood, we're going to need to let it dry out a little bit. And then once it does, we're going to give the whole thing another coat of paint.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When we rent the pavilion or we have a reservation for it, do we go out there and do we put a sign up that says this is reserved? Because people will go out there like early in the morning and start partying in it. And then at maybe 12, the people who reserved it, they have to just leave? Or do we don't put a sign up and saying it's reserved, do we?
We do not. We haven't had that problem in the past, believe it or not, that we haven't had a call saying, oh, this group's out here and we can't have our party. I think most, the word is, hey, we have this facility rented for such and such event or such and such times, and people will leave. Now, if there is an issue, they can call dispatch. Dispatch will go out. They'll confirm with our office that this pavilion is rented and they do have rights to that area. And then whoever's refusing to leave would, I assume, Chief may be able to, reiterate on that, but they would have to leave because whoever rents and pays for it has first right on it.
Yeah, because I went out there Saturday and they were having a birthday party.
Right.
And I went up and talked to them, and I told them who I was, and they appreciated it. And I said, there's only one problem I have is if this is rented, which I don't know if it is or not, y'all have to leave. We'd have to leave? And I said, yeah.
Correct. That is correct. And, Pops Ferry, Causeway, we don't get as many rentals at those facilities as we do at some of the other places.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, we haven't had that issue in the past, but yes, they would. Whoever rented it has the first right for that area.
Yeah. And I've seen the splash pad, looks good.
Splash pad is done, and the roof on the bathroom was finished yesterday.
Good.
So that's a start there, yes, sir. And then
good.
Next thing will be putting some more lights underneath and then going into that bathroom and seeing what we have to do.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Labata, I wanted to ask you something, Christie. The ditch that was at Hiller Park?
Yes.
I asked about cleaning?
Yes.
The reason I wanted to be out there when they did it was they went on by the Keesler and did about 30 feet.
Our Public Works?
Somebody did.
Okay, let me check on it, because I told them that we were to have you
Yeah.
out there, so let me check on that for you.
Okay, because I wanted them to go on the other side all the way to the pond.
Right. I'll get you an update.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
That's all my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nail. I'm going to go ahead and knock out my report. Got a few things. First of all, the pop-up St. Patrick's Day celebration was pretty awesome. Yeah. Go ahead. We're not going to stop you. Go ahead. No, it was pretty amazing. Just because we didn't have a parade doesn't mean we can't party. And commend Main Street and all the organizers for making that thing happen. That was really good. Breakfast with the mayor today was outstanding. I have to commend Memorial Hospital, Biloxi, the Chamber of Commerce, pulled it off flawlessly. The awards were given by both the mayor and Rick to the deserving service members, service to the military, and the nurse of there was a nurse that was recognized in the medical community, and we also had a first responder that was recognized as well. So really a nice event, well attended, and it was really good to top off the morning, as the mayor started off the meeting with. This is directed to Public Works. Malpas Landing reported an issue with a neighbor's tree falling over the fence. They are chopping it up, moving it to the street. I told them, at least I told them what Christy conveyed to me is that if it's on the street, it'll be picked up. If the contractor can't get to it, we'll make other arrangements. They are very appreciative and patiently waiting for that. Want to announce a couple of events in Ward 6. The Mississippi Chamber of Commerce spoke to them today. They'll be organizing a networking event at Pop's Pizza and highlighting that for a lunch to invite chamber members and potential chamber members for some networking. Also, CASA is organizing an event at the corner of Pop's Ferry Road and Cedar Lake. It's much like if you've seen Wendy Sweatman near the lighthouse. It's going to be sort of a similar event to that. It's a fundraiser, and please come out and support that. That's around April 8th, as is the Chamber of Commerce networking event at Pop's Pizza. Another thing I want to talk about is scoreboards at A.J. Holloway Sportsplex, and walk through some of where we were and where we're at today. And I'd be remiss if I didn't start off by recognizing Janet Kavanaugh for her tireless effort in getting some supporting signatures. This is very important, near and dear to the parents and fans and coaches and teams, and we need to try to get it over the goal line, so to speak. So a year ago, we cut the ribbon. March 2025, we cut the ribbon out there at A.J. Holloway Sportsplex. Beautiful, new turf fields, redid all the soccer fields. And so there's a question about why didn't we include the scoreboards? Well, at that time, we were value engineering some of the funding, and we figured we'd be able to get a sponsorship to take care of the scoreboards. The estimated cost is about $100,000 for 10 scoreboards. So that's where we started negotiations after we opened. We started talking to potential sponsors, one being Coke, and there was certainly some interest, but we ran into a little wrinkle because we had an existing vendor that didn't have exclusive Coke products or didn't think they could meet the threshold of minimum purchases. So those negotiations broke down a little bit. And here we are today trying to revive that. I want to commend a few people that have gotten involved in this process. Certainly the mayor and the administration, but Kevin Felsher has certainly inserted himself. Two of our supervisors, one, by the way, is in the audience. I'd like to recognize Nathan Barrett. He's sitting back there trying to be incognito, but smile, Nathan. He's got involved. And Dan Cuevas has also is very interested in seeing us get some scoreboards out there. So I think very soon, with the collaboration of you and your efforts and our leaders, I think very soon we'll see a resolution to this. We also have a backup plan. So if this happens to fall through with this $100,000 expense, we do have an alternative plan B, and we'll hopefully pursue that if we can't go with, plan A. So be a little bit more patient with us. We love our kids out there. We love our new A.J. Holloway Sportsplex with those turf fields, and it just looks good, and the kids think they're major leaguers when you go out there and see them participate and play. All right. Want to also ask my colleagues today, we had Sarah Miller, very well-known community, involved with a lot of community and charity events, and she put her heart and soul in the community that she loves. If we could close this meeting in memory of her. And with that, it concludes my report, and we'll move on to Mr. Creel.
Thank you. So last week we had Ward 4 meeting. We didn't have 200 people, but it was standing room only, Wayne.
Hard to be good like
Yeah.
that.
Well, y'all need to have 200 people, I'm just kidding. So, no, I appreciate the administration for showing up. Chief, I want to commend your assistant on a job well done on his presentation. He was very patient, and just to put it out there, if you're driving on Pops Ferry Road, I had a phone call from a resident that said she got a speeding ticket on Pops Ferry Road, and if I had any advice, I said, well, slow down is the only thing I could come up with, but
She's here. I think she's here in the audience.
so I'll give you the specifics that Assistant Chief Everett gave us. So starting Monday at 8 a.m. until Tuesday at, I think it was 3 p.m., there were 92 stops with 116 citations on Pops Ferry Road. So please watch your speed on Pops Ferry Road. And with 92 stops, obviously, make sure your seatbelt's on. If you got up to 116, there was more than speeding going on. So check your expiration date on your driver's license. So they're out there and in force. And so we had a lot of great information from him. Rick, thank you for showing up and giving your report. Jerry, glad to see you feeling better, but he stood in for you pretty good and took the heat. He did well. You may want to get him to sit over there with you for a lot more times, and because he took a few bullets. Okay, no, but it was good. I appreciate everyone showing up. We'll have another one coming up in June, and we'll advise on that. I'll mention this again next week, but Jamie, thank you for hosting the Easter egg hunt at soccer fields. That's coming up on the 28th and 29th out there in Ward 4. We look forward to the rest of the city coming out and enjoying the Easter egg hunt out there at soccer fields. It'll be nice to get the locks off. So thank you for that. Also, Jamie, while I'm speaking to you, can update on the fence on the international fields real quick?
Okay. Just to let everybody know that we will be having the baseball opening ceremonies this weekend, this Saturday at 8:30, and also the softball following at 9:30 at the A.J. Holloway. So come on out. Anybody who's interested in, getting that arm loose and want to throw out a pitch, just contact me or Ronnie, and we'll go for it.
All right. Yes. That's right, USM and Nichols playing out there, wear a coat. So, you can't, I know we were supposed to schedule last week.
Yeah, it was something happened. I don't know if it was weather material related that the project was delayed, but they're hoping that they can get to it this week and get it fixed. And as soon as it's fixed, we're ready to go with it.
Okay. Real quick, word on the street is that you're looking for a new superintendent, or can you give us a little background on what you're looking for?
We posted last week a recreation superintendent job. For those that didn't know, our department has 5 different divisions underneath it. Administration division, which I'm part of. Then you have the Parks division, which takes care of all the ball fields that Brian Thacker's the superintendent. The beautification division, which does logistics, grass cutting things, Tommy Seawright's part of. Then we also have the recreation division, which is all of the rental facilities, the Snyder Center, different parts, the programming, which is currently vacant. And then we also have the aquatics division, which encompasses the pools. Originally, we were looking at possibly doing an aquatics person, but, as I've progressed in this position and saw the need, decided to go the recreation route, since the recreation division is actually the biggest division within our department. So that's where I believe that that middle manager, head of that division, somebody that, can communicate with administration on a regular basis, administration being, in our department, on a regular basis is going to benefit the department, the most. So that position is open. I believe at this point we have 5 applicants. So we're looking for the best candidate.
How long is the position available? I mean, how long?
Next week.
Next week?
Next week. I think the 27th or the 28th, one of those days that it actually closes, and then hopefully we can get interviews scheduled soon, and then get moving on that. No, I feel it's going to be something that helps. Like I said, need some middle managers to help with some of the day-to-day operations, and especially with the recreation side, recreation division being the biggest is where we felt that the greatest need was at this time.
Well, especially with the facility rentals, no doubt. I think all of us up here can agree, especially this first part of the year with renting each of the facilities you have. Any assistance going to help.
And it's a blessing in disguise. I mean, we're seeing more rentals now than we have before, which is good, but we do need to man the facilities and be able to take care of them in the way we need to present them. Just like at the Hiller Park Pavilion, we need to make sure that we're doing the things we need to do interdepartmentally to make sure that these renters are having a positive experience with them. So
now, to piggyback off of what Councilman Glavin said with the scoreboards real quick, I know the short-term solution that he referenced was your mobile scoreboards, and from what I understand, the Biloxi Youth has purchased one of those mobile scoreboards. They have one, and I believe the cost to have them at every field in the interim is I think $3,000. Is that something we're looking for short-term, or when do you foresee us making a decision if we're going to wait and get the $100,000, or are we going to try and do something short-term to get the season started?
Well, I mean, we wanted this one to be the quote-unquote prototype to see how well it went, to see if we have people who are willing to operate them, to see if we can get a positive response from that. We're looking at using them also with multiple sports. Could we use them out at the soccer fields? Could we use them out at the football fields as well? So we can, not just use them whenever our leagues demand them, but we could use them throughout the year. But, when it comes down to it, like Councilman Glavin said, you're looking at $100,000 to replace all the scoreboards, the permanent scoreboards at these fields. And these portable ones where you can move and hang on different places, I think they're around $600.
Right.
And they're Bluetooth connected, operate from a phone. So, they are, I guess if you want to call them a temporary fix, it is. But, we'll just have to see where we're at and what type of funding we can get for the bigger scoreboards.
Technology and Game Changer and some of these other interfaces that may make the operational situation, in some of these leagues, some parents sign on to make it updated for everybody in there, but the interface to make it another facility or another device on the network that everybody's inputting the data to. So it's more than just a scoreboard, not a dedicated scoreboard. It's a workstation, so it can be viewed by all. So there's some angles we're throwing at them.
No, I get it, but I guess my point is as long as with these signatures is how much longer?
It's a tough question. Again, Representative Felsher has been hustling pretty good with regard to Coca-Cola and some of these other ones. So it's in a week or so, I think we'll be a little bit stronger. By the next council meeting, we'll understand where we are with Coca-Cola and then some of the other considerations about who's going to run this thing.
Right, and then in the interim, for example, the email we got today from Mr. Shireman was, I think they have one of the mobile scoreboards, but it's actually in the equipment office. They don't use it because they don't want to put a scoreboard up on one field when you don't have them on all. So I think that's an issue as well. I mean, if you have one and you have a championship game, maybe that's something, but at the same time, purchasing it and then putting it in.
We'll get a report by next council meeting.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you, Jamie. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Cord. We'll move on to Mr. Tisdale.
Thank you, Mr. President. This past Saturday, Briarfield subdivision again. There was some event at the Coliseum. They opened the west parking lot gate. Traffic went down Pine Grove Avenue. 2 lanes headed south. Folks couldn't get out of their driveways. I had a call from a lady. This is the second or third time in the past 5 years. She couldn't get out of her driveway to go to church. And I'd mentioned this before, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think. We could put something up, I believe, there to block the gate so that even if the Coliseum opened it, they wouldn't have access to to Pine Grove Avenue. I'm unaware of any agreement with the Coliseum that allows them to dump traffic onto the north end of Pine Grove. Maybe there is, so there's some research that's needed there. But this has been going on, I've been in office 12 years, this has been going on for 12 years. Not a thing has changed. I have a council meeting on March 31st. I would assume we'll have some folks from that neighborhood, and I'm sure they'll be asking the question, is there any reason we cannot put up just a 4-foot fence, a gate really, so that we control access through that neighborhood? I want to point out that this neighborhood is located between the Coliseum, Maison d'Orleans Apartments, and what's on the other side of Briarfield? Grandview Apartments. So you have that west gate to the Coliseum parking that's opened at will by the Coliseum. At the north end of Briarfield Avenue, you have an exit gate from Grandview Apartments. When Grandview Drive is blocked, they open that northeast gate to their property. The additional issues that causes is speeding through the neighborhood. We put up always stops at several intersections. They run the intersections. You get the litter from people coming and going through Mercury Lane, through that neighborhood to Maison d'Orleans, because the entrance to Maison d'Orleans from Highway 90 has speed bumps. What they do is they leave through Mercury Lane. That's the only public access there to the apartments, and I know we can't close that access. But then they use that Mercury Lane to speed through the neighborhood to get to Highway 90. And to top it all off, if you love or hate short-term rentals, there are now more short-term rentals in that small neighborhood than there are single-family residences. So having said that, this is just one of a number of issues that really impact the quality of life. And I would hope that this is at least one issue that we could resolve so that we don't have traffic dumped out, so this lady who's a senior citizen, they can get to church, but also at night when they have concerts at the Coliseum, they let the traffic out that west gate so the folks parked in the west parking lot can leave the neighborhood. Again, both lanes of traffic are headed south, not just on Pine Grove, but also on Briarfield. So if you have folks with medical issues, at that particular time, there's no way that a fire truck can get to them. There's no way that an ambulance can get to them. Surely this is one small thing, and I've mentioned this the past 10 years, off and on. Surely this is one thing we can do for those residents. Is this possible? Can we do this? Can we make a commitment to pursue it to help these folks enjoy their property?
Yeah, I'll research the property issue. I'd meant to do that, but I didn't do that. Didn't write it down enough. And then setting up a meeting with the county, who controls what the Coliseum does, and the Coliseum, certainly we can have that dialogue.
And it may be, I mean, they have, I don't go to events at the Coliseum. A, my ears can't take the noise, and I don't boogie like I used to, if I ever boogied at all. But it may be that the police, and I know we're hesitant to do this sometimes, but it may be the police, if that traffic's coming out, can issue some of those citations that Mr. Creel's cornering the market on out there on Pops Ferry Road, and just might put a stop to all of this. But anything we can do to help those residents, I know they'd be greatly appreciative. Thank you. The second thing is, this past Sunday, been quite a weekend. This past Sunday, there was a fire between Petty Boy subdivision and the Enclave subdivision and the railroad tracks. There's a thin wooded strip, I don't know, it may comprise from one end to the other, a number of acres. And this is the second time, maybe in the last year and a half, where there have been some homeless folks in the woods, started a fire, the fire's out of control. The issue is that you can't get a fire truck back there. So it's access to the equipment that they need. And I don't know what else we can do to help these people other than have the property owner at least remove some of these trees to give the fire department access back there. I think the last time this happened, maybe a year and a half ago, I believe, firefighters were knocking on doors asking residents, can we use your garden hose and climb in your backyard to fight the fire? So, and I'm sure these people certainly would appreciate anything we can do to help them with their property. And usually the police are aware where the homeless are staying, but you're aware, and particularly since this is west of the Broadwater property, as the Broadwater's cleared, most of the homeless move west, is my understanding or my perception. So we're going to see them in other areas in West Biloxi that are heavily wooded, and I noticed that it made the news in Gulfport. So it's their turn in the barrel on the homeless issue. We all get a turn. Don't think it's just Biloxi and Gulfport. So thank you, I'd appreciate that if we could do something to ensure that this is minimized or doesn't occur again. The next Ward 5 meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 31st, 5:30 at the Snyder Center. And happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. Thank you. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Shoemaker?
Just two short, quick things. The bridge on Wool Market Road, just west of Shriners, is still being repaired, but from the sounds of it, hopefully by the end of this week, that should be done. Fingers crossed, but we'll keep you posted, but it looks like the end of the week it should be done, and Shriners and all of Wool Market Road will be back open. And secondly, just a quick question, the pop-up on Friday, does Main Street pay for that, or do we pay for that?
It's a combination of both of us. We paid some and they paid some.
So about 50-50?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker.
On that, Councilman Shoemaker, that everyone was very pleased as far as we talked to. I know myself, Councilman Creel, several others, Councilman Nail, Councilman Gray were there. So we saw those. I know Councilman Tisdale was there as well. So all of the the businesses that we were in reference to had sold out stuff and had a great time. So.
Good. I was sick. I was not able to make it, unfortunately. But yeah, I did hear it was a good event. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Shoemaker. Mr. Marshall.
All right, I'm going to be very quick. First of all, there's something I just got put into my head today, and I don't know if I can get that out of my head, and that's just Mr. Tisdale doing the boogie woogie. That's going to live in my head for a long time. First Missionary Baptist Church celebrated 180-year anniversary. They did it at Doris Bush Park. Miss Bush was a well-known integral part of First Missionary Baptist Church. First Missionary Baptist Church, in turn, is a well-known and integral part of East Biloxi. So we're happy that they were able to celebrate 180 years. Congratulations to their pastor, Pastor Eric Dickey, and to all the members. The next thing is going to be for Dr. Parks. Mr. Jamie.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can't tell by the weather today, but we are getting ready for summer, and our splash pad. Any way possible, what we need to do is get it painted and get it refurbished, looking fresh for the children.
My personal opinion, I'm against painting splash pads. Let me tell you why. The ones that we have painted in the past, put down the shark grip with the paint, it comes off, gets in the drains, clogs it up. We have found that leaving it bare concrete does hold up better. Now, if there's some cracks and things like that, we could possibly repair. There's some structures that need to be repainted, we could possibly repaint them.
Okay, we have that, yes.
So, but I am against painting the floor of it. Not to say that we can't, but my professional and personal opinion is to leave it bare. We've seemed to have success with the ones that we haven't painted. When you do paint it, even if the shark grip comes out, wet paint or wet floor, paint slippery. Since we stopped painting the one at Margaret Sherry, we've gotten far less complaints about kids slipping and falling and hurting themselves. No, it doesn't look quite, then aesthetically it doesn't, but you know, it's kind of, you want a pretty splash pad or do you want a safe one? Pretty safe, yeah. But no, it's so you got a somewhat pretty safe one. But that is my recommendation. But we can do it. But I would look against that. But there are other things that we can do to clean it up, to make it look better.
Okay, that's what
now we are projected on opening those up in 2 weeks. That one included. You know, our grass cutting schedule is beginning very soon as well. So we are limited on time, but we will see what we can do. And if we can get to it, we will get to it. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we don't paint it, we will get the fixtures, the hydrants and all those repainted at least, fixed up, spruced up.
We'll take a look at it tomorrow. That'll be on the list to go look at and see what we can do. Yes, sir.
Okay, and how we come up with that other gate?
The other gate? Mm-hmm. Well, I thought the problem may have been solved by shutting the other gate. Is it?
No, we need to be able to shut the park down. Problem is that people just use it as a place to go and meet up and do things that they shouldn't probably be doing. So I need to be able to shut that park down completely at night. At 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, I'm old school. If I was gonna go do something I shouldn't be doing what I'm not supposed to, I turn my music down. But for some reason, they don't think like that. So it's boom, 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 12 o'clock at night. They're just there, 2 cars parked. I don't know how they're talking, the music's so loud. But it's not, they're not supposed to be there. We're also starting to, I agree with the police officer on that, they're starting getting people just come back in there and parking again. So we're gonna be discussing that later. But if you can work on that gate, I need to be able to shut it down. I got the guys, we had that meeting, we set up a little community group. They're willing to go there and close the gate and open the gate, same way Mrs. Clara used to do. Years ago, we had Miss Clara, she would open the gates, she would shut the gates, she lived right up the street. And I believe Mr. Griffin's, I think it was Mr. Griffin's mother, but we still miss her. We miss what she did. We're trying to find someone else in the community that's willing to, and I got a couple of men in the community that say they're willing to do that. They know the problem, they understand that could help solve that problem.
Now, I know when we spoke about that gate last time about how some inadequacies with it, the problem, when we shut that gate at its current state, it will block the wheelchair access to the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to keep that open. Mm-hmm. So it may also require some curb work, some concrete work to make sure that the path is still ADA accessible on the sidewalk into the road and then back onto the other sidewalk. Because the way it currently goes, the sidewalk goes up the street, turns back toward the park, through where the gate would shut, and then the wheelchair drop-off is right there, and then it would have to come out and then go back up. So we would have to look at doing some curb work to put that wheelchair access on the outside of the fence if we block that off, because there has to be access to the public sidewalk.
I'm willing for you to do all of that. Whatever it takes to get done, that's what we need to do. You know, I gotta have a park that's safe and clean. I don't think the people in the middle of the day are going there and putting feces all over in the middle of the day. I mean, that's happening at night. And I need to be able to control of that park. So if that's what we gotta do to rearrange the sidewalk, then who would it be, you or Mr. Labate?
I think it'd be a collaborative effort, getting with Public Works and let the engineers go out and look at it and see what they can do.
Right. Okay. All right. I will appreciate it. We, get working on it. That gate is not an option. It needs to be done. We need to have control of that park. Okay. Our community needs to have a new face. Needs to have a new attitude. And I got people interested in helping. Let's not discourage them saying the city won't do their job. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Wait, whoa. I apologize. Okay, we got that building sitting there, the little house in the park.
Yes, sir.
What's the plans?
Plan is to fix it one more time. Using the group, the KOPC group. They just got back into session here in March. I've met with Ms. Griffin, I believe, and also the electrician about doing some work out at Hiller Park. And then we're also looking at doing some work at Beck Park and also at O'Reilly Park with the pavilion there. Those are kind of the three areas that we're looking at utilizing the resources from that group. Hiller Park was on the top of the list. Then I think Beck Park will be the next, and then O'Reilly. Those are the three spots in that priority, what we're looking at getting fixed.
Right. As it explained to me, and I could be wrong, but I'm almost sure I'm right. Ms. Clara, who I just spoke of earlier, was Mr. Griffin's mother. And I think he was choosing to work in that park out of respect for her memory of what things that she had done in the community. That was her adopted park, and she was the mother of the park. I'm gonna tell you a little something. That's my backyard. And I remember, Ms. Clara, you can have the roughest, toughest gangster sitting in that park. When she come down her street, Elmer Street, Baptist Alley, when she come walking down that street towards that park, whoever was in there playing loud music, whoever was doing wrong, they stopped, they packed their stuff up, and they left. And you can, no matter, I don't care if they were murderers, they looked at her, they said, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And then she controlled it. That's why he was in that park working. That's why he chose that park. Okay. The amount of work that has to be done on that building goes beyond their scope. So I'm asking you, do we have a plan so they can only do cosmetic things, limited things? Do we have a plan? Because that building's in really, really bad shape.
I think that's something we would have to look at once we start getting into the work to seeing exactly what needs to be done, what the scope of work is, and then ultimately, what is it going to cost to fix it?
Okay.
We need to have an idea of that and then see if we can plan for it.
Okay, could you call me next week? We'll set up a time, I'll meet you out there, and we'll just, with your engineers, whoever you want to, so I can have at least a plan for it, but we can't leave it like that. My history is that once you leave something dilapidated, people see it like you don't care about it, they don't care about it, it just gets worse.
No, and we know there's some repairs that need to be done, and they will be done, the ones we can do, they will be.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Chief?
Mr. Gray? Oh, no,
Mr. Gray?
No, he's not done.
Oh, you're not done?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. We got a pack of dogs.
Yes, sir.
And they're running too wild and too friendly. Matter of fact, people are naming them, giving them names, and I stopped the lady from feeding them the other day. I was passing by, I said, I hope she's not feeding them dogs, and sure enough, she was feeding the stray dogs. And I asked her, I said, please don't do that, because what's gonna happen? And I explained to her all the bad things about stray dogs. She said she hadn't thought about it like that, she just thought they might have been hungry. And I don't know if people are feeding them better than you guys could feed them, but I do know that if I walk towards them, that when I walk out of my house, I walk up the street, walk towards them, they know who I am, and they scatter. But other people can walk up to them, and I see in midnight, they're barking like crazy, and it's a pack. And where are we at with getting rid of them?
Well, we picked up the one last week, and the 2 ACOs go out there in between other calls. Most of the time, the dogs are running off. They tried the net gun. That's how they got the one last week. They're going to still keep going out there in between other calls in the city. And then, as we've talked in the budget, we'll request another ACO to help with that. We're also trying to get those GPS dart guns.
Are they coming in soon or what?
I'm sorry?
Are they coming in? You ordered them already?
We've not ordered them yet. We're still dealing with the company. So we have their other guns, but when you dart the dog, it runs off. We can't find it then. But these GPS ones will help us locate them.
Okay. Need a better report than that.
That's what I've got.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Wait, no. One more thing. This is not just for you, but this is also possibly for you. I don't know how you're going to handle this, Mr. President, but each one of us are getting complaints about speeding in our neighborhoods and everything. Can we do a workshop with the police, and I think it's a committee or something that determines how we set up the speed bumps and everything, so we all be on one page, and we got a committee, whatever you got. How does that usually work?
So if there's a traffic complaint, let's say with like speeding, certainly you let us know the location. We have a list. We have to rotate through that list. You know, the city's big, and we hit different areas, target different areas like Councilman Creel was talking about at different times. And then on that list, we have to look and kind of prioritize what area is worse. As far as the committee goes, the traffic committee you're talking about, let's say speed limit needs to be changed, or a sign needs to be put up, or children at play, you know, anything like that, speed bumps. You email Craig Ross, and he sets up, he'll keep a list of everything. Then we have the meeting. Usually it's close to once a month. And then from engineering, us, Jerry Krill's office, and a few others meet. We talk about the issue. Sometimes we decide to do a traffic study, traffic count, traffic enforcement, whatever the issue is. We, as a group, we try to figure out the best resolution. And then from there, we follow up back on it and see what the results were, and then make a final decision. I can tell you, as far as speed bumps go, before somebody even puts in for it, because of the issue of the city and the cost of the city putting in the speed bumps or having to tear them up or whatever, you have to get a petition signed through your neighborhood before you even request a speed bump.
What about a stop sign?
Well, a stop sign, you just submit that location to Craig Ross, goes to the committee, we talk about it. For instance, there's been streets where every other four-way had a stop sign, the rest had yield signs or something, for instance. And then we went through and said, nah, it'd make more sense if there were stop signs at each location. Or speeding was 35 miles an hour, speed limit was 35 miles an hour, and they requested 25 or whatever it was. So that's what we talk about and decide collectively as a group, what's the best resolution.
Are you against, or maybe doing a workshop just on that so we can walk through that process once and for all? That way everybody would be on the same page, then we'll know exactly what forms, what we need to do to get it done.
It's an open meeting, and you can come. I think Councilman Tisdale's come to a few of them.
I've been to a couple of them. Mr. Marshall, you asked me how to proceed. I'll make one suggestion, and then maybe we move to a workshop if this doesn't work. Chief, could you get with the mayor's office and Rick, maybe bullet point those steps that you just outlined, get those to all the council members. Let's give it, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, see if it makes a difference. If it doesn't, maybe after 3 weeks we come back and say we need a more formal workshop. And then I would encourage everyone up here, if you would attend one of these meetings. They are open meetings. They're very compelling.
When's the next one?
if you don't
When
mind.
is your next one? You have them on Wednesdays, or when do you have them?
I'd have to look at the schedule. I do not have that on the top of my head. They're-
Okay,
they're-
Jerry's usually at some of them?
Yeah, they're as and, yeah. but
Okay. Well, we need one.
As soon as
We need one.
Yeah,
As soon as we get,
So-
there's certain things that are more pressing than others, so we'll get one set up. But other than that, it's usually, we let it collect a few and then we'll set one up.
All right, open meetings, is this the first 3 get in free type of thing? And probably try to respect that. So the first 3 get in free, so if you send out that invitation, just be mindful if there's a 4th council member, you may have to skip it and go to the next one or something.
Well, I think if you announce it, then we can do it. We can all be there. Or even just need to go and do that workshop. This is something that's kind of pressing, and it's not going to get any better. Kids going to be out of school. Teenagers going to be speeding. They're getting a new license, the new cars. We're going to have some problems.
I'll get with administration, those bullet points like you requested, and then we'll get one set up.
All right, thank you so much. Before you go, in the meantime, I got a few complaints. One of them I'm going to address right away. Is when you go to Nichols School, coming off Division Street, the cars are parked there. People being disrespectful to the cars, people being disrespectful to the kids that are walking from the school, and cars just speeding right there in front of that school. So can we put an officer there every now and then?
On Nichols?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. This time, I'm through for real on that one. Also, I went by the farmer's market today and talked to some of the vendors. There were only 4 vendors there, the whole market. I talked to them. I'm going to be meeting with them next week to make sure that if we can possibly find out what they want, what ideas they have, and I'd like to know that, maybe get with the more of the council members so we can understand what the situation is. I think that it is important that it stays there in that area, and we need to figure out a way we got to do to make them not leave. I believe that announcement, they indicated to me that the announcement that they're going to be shutting it down discouraged people, and it could have been just the cold weather today, but they're very much not happy with that. And let me make sure, I think I'm through. I yield.
All right, very good. Mr. Gray has another comment.
On the farmer's market, we've been working with them. Marshall, we've been working with the farmer's market. We're trying to iron out some details, and since we get everything ironed out, we'll get with everybody. That's why we're just trying to get everything ironed out before we bring it up. That's it. The pop-up event for Friday, it was a big success. I say it was nice to see all the local businesses out participating. We had people going to Fuji's, getting food, coming back over here. Adventures, bringing food. The little place up top, 313 or whatever it is, they had a booth set up outside selling drinks. I mean, to me, I believe that's what First Friday should be, is to help support these brick and mortar places here. So it was nice seeing that everybody enjoyed it. Even people was walking over to the Rue Magnolia, shopping down there. So that's what I believe, that's what it's for. So it was really nice to see a change and see people on this side supporting the brick and mortar businesses. That's all I have.
Mr. Nail has another comment. I'll come back to you.
Yes.
I just wanted to tell people in Greater Biloxi that I think Athalia Street and Azalea Street's going to be paved this week, for sure.
Mr. Marshall?
Mr. Labate, I did mention to you about Reading. Okay. When you go down to Reading, in between the school and those parcels that are backed up to the school, that ditch area down there, I've got a couple of complaints. They want it clean. They was told that one of the neighbors had stopped your crews from cleaning one time, but they lived on the other side of the street, but they want their back area, cleaned up if it's possible to get down there and do that. It's a little ditch canalway that leads out to the bayou area, and that's what I'm talking about. It's right where the school and the backyards are. All the lots are empty, but I've been one of those that they complain about, make sure they cut their grass and stuff, and that was their complaint back to me. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. I believe that now ends council reports. We're going to move on to citizens' comments. The chair, along with the city council, regards this portion of our regular meeting as paramount. It upholds viewpoint neutrality and gives every resident a voice to share praise, concern, and critique of city actions, policies, and results. It is a space that is diverse and holds many perspectives to be heard in a way that supports informed decision-making for Biloxi and strengthens public trust in our local government. Citizens' comments are considered a limited public forum. What does that mean? It means while the city welcomes a range of viewpoints on matters within the agenda, the city may impose reasonable viewpoint neutral limits on time, manner, and topics to ensure orderly proceedings and protect the rights of all attendees. The rules of decorum apply to maintain respectful and productive dialogue for all. Comments are directed toward the chair and the full council, not at individual staff or other speakers. This helps keep the dialogue constructive and respectful while clearly outlining the roles, responsibility, and accountability within our civic process. As you prepare to speak, please recall our conduct expectations. Speak with courtesy, focus on the policy or action and its impact on the community, and provide evidence where possible. Refrain from personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or any attempt to demean or smear someone's character. Avoid misrepresentation or false light implications, and speak truthfully to the point with as much factual support as you can provide. If you have a concern or commendation, present it clearly and respectfully, framed around observed effects, data, or credible information. When you begin, state your name, your address for the record, and remain within the allotted time of 3 minutes. Our shared goal is to foster transparent, constructive dialogue that advances Biloxi's well-being and informs future actions. Thank you for your engagement in helping us sustain an open, accountable, and collaborative environment. And with that, I'll go ahead and open up for citizens' comments. We'll start on my right, your left. Ms. Kavanaugh.
I put this on your desk. I'll have a chance. My name is Janet Kavanaugh, and I'm here on behalf of families involved with the Biloxi Youth Baseball at the A.J. Holloway Sports Complex. As you know, I'm a crier because it does mean something to me, and I'm sorry. I was here a few weeks ago and read a statement about the lack of operational scoreboards in the PA system. Again, we love the AstroTurf. The players are happy. They just want to be able to see the score. And since the original letter has come, I have gotten over 330 signatures, and that is from parents, grandparents, coaches, firemen. I tried to get everybody that would be interested on these. And I know y'all are working on it, but like this weekend is opening ceremonies, and I know we're not going to have anything out there, but that's okay as long as I feel like we're working together to do this. I don't want to stop halfway. I've never done anything like this before. I just want it for the kids. And I did not read my letter, I'm sorry, but I did give y'all a copy of all the, and I do have some people here that are with me, if they could stand up and show their support. Thank you to them, because they have listened to me for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on my right, your left? Anyone on this side of the room? Anyone on my left, your right? Mr. Silvestro. We'll get to you next. Go ahead and proceed.
Bob Silvestro, 181 Iris. First, I want to say thank you to Mr. Nail for being concerned about the Broadwater. I thought about it an awful lot. You guys have been arguing or trying to get something done there for a long time before. And I really think that people started to get concerned again because it started to get bad. I don't know, sound all that, but I think that it started to get cleaned up because people work together. It's like when we had a problem with the clinic and Elliott Homes, a lot of people came together and cared. All this fighting, calling people names and doing that, I don't think it's healthy, not that you're doing it. But I just think that you really can, this city is very receptive to people doing things. I mean, and if you have a disagreement with someone, I did. The mayor was nice enough to let me go in the back room with some people, discuss something with Jerry. You come out, you have disagreements, and then you move on. And the other thing I wanted to say was that the people that work at code enforcement, we get a lot of, hey, thank you for the policemen, thank you for the fire department. They do a great job. We give them the best equipment they can. But these men and women in code enforcement, let's be honest, they are enforcing code against a lot of people who don't want to clean up their properties. I think it would mean a lot if you folks just said, thank you, you guys. We appreciate what you're doing. And the only other last thing I wanted to say was, could we get somebody to put a sign up or something, what the Broadwater Marina is going to look like when they're done? A lot of people are asking, and you know, people speculate, and maybe we could have a little picture of what they want. And one last thing to Mr. Nail, when obviously somebody got in your craw about you not working, I see you around there 7 days a week. I want to tell you something. We had 2 new homes built in the neighborhood, and they both went up for sale between $350,000 and $360,000. And I said, how did they both sell in 2 weeks? And you know what their response was? Oh, now our taxes are going to go up. So if you make half the people happy, you're doing a good job. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Lizzie Williams, and I live at 575 Jefferson Street. I have been plagued with foul water for the last 4 to 5 months. As of Friday, this past Friday, the city came out and flushed the lines again. The lines ran all Friday morning to Monday morning to 6 o'clock. The street was flooded. I had to drive all the way through the flooded street this weekend. Last time I was here, I called for an investigation of the contractors because the area around the Civic Center has not done, the infrastructure have not been done. And I do believe that if the infrastructure around this area would be done, or they dig or something, our water, my water in my neighborhood will increase it. I mean, will be better. It's not doing any better. The flushing it is not solving the problem. I have foul water. It stays clean for 3 or 4 days. They have to come out and flush it. It also return. And I don't think we should have to wait till a bond issue come to get this done so we can have better water.
Thank you. Anyone else on this side of the room? Yes. We'll get to you next. Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Keisha Bone, and I live at 237 Main Street. So Councilman Gray mentioned basically bringing revenue in East Biloxi, and I think one good way of doing that is putting a grocery store in there. There's a lot of residents, they want a grocery store, and I know we do have the Food Giant, and we also have the Lee's International, but the Food Giant, to be honest, it's expensive, and you don't have a lot of the supplies or food that you're looking for at, say, if you go to a Rouse's or you go to a Walgreens. And a lot of people that are in East Biloxi, they're on a fixed income, or they don't have transportation to properly go to, say, a Walmart, so they have no choice but to pay those high prices. Now, I do know that the city does have a lot that is on Division and Cavet that is prime for putting a grocery store there. We just need the extra votes to approve that. So we have 2 already, we just need 2 more. And that just makes better sense for the residents of East Biloxi. Now, I know when I was a teenager, we did have 2 grocery stores, but they closed down. One was a Piggly Wiggly, one was a Jitney Jungle. And if we do put a grocery store there, then that's one way where we can bring revenue into East Biloxi instead of, like the councilman was saying, he wants to raise the restaurant taxes to, a little bit here, a little bit there. But if you do have a grocery store, that's going to be bigger revenue for the residents to spend. So, thank you. That's something to think about.
Thank you. Anyone else? Raise your hand to be recognized. This side. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Annette Agregard. I'm from Ward 2, City of Biloxi, 61 years. I have a few things, so I'm going to try to keep it quick. Mr. Marshall, on this recreation center that you have made your platform on from the beginning of campaigning, have you or anyone else asked the residents if that was a severe need? Because we do have the Croc Center. The Croc Center was built after Katrina. To my understanding, the City of Biloxi donates or gives in their yearly budget a substantial amount of money to the Croc Center for those in Ward 1 and Ward 2 that cannot afford the dues. I think the money for the original recreation center can be spent to allocate, to bring in revenue for Ward 1 and Ward 2 in a different way, because I don't think it's economical feasible. If you build another building, you have to have an expense report. And how are you going to offset that expense report with the revenue? Not once has anybody talked about the revenue that this rec center might bring in. I haven't heard that. And when you borrow money, you have to have an expense report and a profit and loss statement. That's the first thing. Maybe present that to the city, present how we're going to make revenue off of this rec center. We make revenue off of the civic center and the community center and some other things. So let's see the whole picture of this rec center before we are committed to a bond for it. The second thing, Keller Avenue and Peyton Drive, we definitely need police patrolled. We can have a lot of revenue coming in just by ticketing people that run that stop sign on an hourly basis. The other thing, what are we going to do about this building? I do not understand the process, do not understand it, and I haven't gotten any answers in 9 months on what residents are supposed to do when we have things like this happening in our neighborhood, and we can't get answers, and we don't know where to go, we don't know who to ask or what department to ask. Got 25 seconds. My last thing is, when we did some renovations at Henry Beck Park a couple of months ago or weeks ago, did that come out of Parks and Recreation's department budget, or did that come out of Public Works Department budget, or was that something you asked for your own?
This is not question and answer.
Okay.
That's okay. But you can seek those answers.
Right, and who is responsible after the vandalism happens?
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Agregard.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on my left? Did I miss anybody on my right? Anyone in the back of the room? Citizens' comments are now closed. We'll move on to the policy agenda.
Resolution granting conditional use to allow a tattoo parlor at 1670 Pash Road, Suites A and B.
Chair will entertain a motion from Ward 2. Moved by Mr. Marshall. Do we have a second? All right, seconded by Mr. Nail. Discussion, Mr. Marshall.
Mr. Creel.
Yes, sir.
Will this be facing the neighborhood? Would this be facing the street, the busy patch road? How would it be facing?
If you're familiar with the shopping center, I think it's called K Plaza that Mr. Greek is in. This is the tenant space closest to Pass Road. The residential structures are actually behind that L-shaped shopping center, and they face the other direction. So we don't see this being any issue with the residents that are behind that building there. And when it went before Planning Commission, the owners said that they only do by appointment. So it's not like you have a line of people trying to get in there. They do it by appointment.
Any of the tattoo shops in the area?
There are two others. There's one a little further east on Pass Road, and then there's one on Iberville in that red strip center that's kind of across from the Mini Mart grocery there. So there are two, yes, sir.
Are they all conditional use?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay, any police reports, any bad activities going on, any of those in that part of town?
No, sir, we don't get any complaints about the tattoo parlors.
What about any other parts of town?
No, sir, I haven't received any complaints.
So you had no complaints about tattoo parlors? Okay, it's not going to be a parking issue, is it?
No, sir.
Okay.
At that big shopping center parking that's out there in front.
Okay, unless they go on Pass Road, anybody living in that subdivision won't know that it's there.
I mean, when they're coming up to Pass Road, they will be able to see the tenant spaces.
But it's not a part of the neighborhood?
No, sir.
Okay, what about the other ones? Are they're situated similarly away from the neighborhood, facing away from the neighborhood?
Sure. The one that's on Pass Road east of there faces south, and the one that's on Iberville faces east.
Okay. The nine, I think it was 9 things that were listed that qualifies it. Okay, can you talk about that? What's the significance of it? And I was understanding that they missed a couple of them.
Well, there's some of the questions that are subjective. You know, is the use going to create foul odor? You know, no, there's nothing about this that creates a foul odor. Is it going to create a lot of noise? No, these tattoo parlors are usually very quiet. Does it blend in with is it compatible with the neighborhood? Well, this is right on Pass Road, so it's a commercial thoroughfare through there, and it's actually not in the neighborhood like we talked about before. So Planning Commission voted 13-0 to approve it. They felt that it met the criteria for conditional use. And another thing about conditional use too, that I remind y'all of, is that it's a conditional use. If we do experience problems, we give them a certain limited period of time to correct those problems. If they don't, then the Planning Commission and the council have the right to revoke that conditional use permit.
Okay, so based on that, conditional use meaning that if the neighborhood starts complaining about it, all they have to do is bring those complaints, valid complaints to us, and it's up to us to determine whether or not we just shut the business, ask the business to pack up and go somewhere else.
That's correct, but this has been misunderstood in the past. I want to make sure you understand. We have to give them the opportunity to correct whatever it is. If they don't correct it, then the council has the right to revoke the permit.
Okay, so that's the condition. In other words, their condition is that as long as you're there and you're not causing any trouble, you're not causing any people's values, their homes going down, all those other issues that they can think of, as long as that's there, then you can operate their business.
That's correct. Yes,
if you start to violate those conditions, which is a conditional use, then you have to correct it, or you lose your privilege license.
If you receive complaints, or if we receive complaints that they're not complying with the conditions, then we would put them on notice that we've received complaints and they have X number of days to correct this. If they correct it, that's the end of it. If they don't correct it, then I would bring it to the Planning Commission and the City Council with a request to revoke the conditional use permit.
Okay. Does the tax, do we make any money off of the city?
We make sales tax off of it just like we do anything else. I mean, it's a service that they provide.
Mm-hmm.
They are buying materials and equipment and things like that, you know, that generate sales tax revenue.
Like a barber shop, a beauty shop, you go to the beauty shop, you buy their salon products and the shampoos and things like that.
Considered like a personal service establishment, yes.
Okay. All righty. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Neal?
Tattoo parlors, they're normally late in the afternoon, nighttime. People go back, get a little bit done, go back next week, get a little bit more done when they get a little bit more money.
Yes, sir.
I've never had a problem with tattoo parlors. I got my first tattoo when I was 14.
That's 2 things I can't get rid of.
Don't share it. Please don't share it with us. So. All right. Is that it?
Well,
Mr. Creel.
So, quick question. The address, is it a Pass Road address? Is it a...
It is a Pass Road address, yes, sir. And it's the end suite there is a double suite, so it's A and B.
Okay.
It's 1670 Pass Road, I believe.
So, Pass Road, all right. And just a quick question. There's no agricultural zoning around or located around this area, is there?
None that I'm aware of, no, sir.
Okay. So if it needs a conditional use, why? Is it a zoning issue?
It's tied, the conditional use is tied to the zoning. Not necessarily in this case, but there are some places where we have NB zoning where it may be that the NB faces the residential structure. And so it gives the Planning Commission and the council the right to handle it on a case-by-case basis, you know, that this one is I can't imagine this one being a problem, but if it were in one of those other situations where you had those properties with different zonings really contingent to each other, it could be a problem there.
Okay, so the residential area that you said is located behind this, does it have a Pass Road address as well, or is it a St. Mark address?
It faces the other street. It faces the street behind here.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Gray?
Jerry, in the LDO, it states that no tattoo or body piercing establishment should be located in the same block as any property zone, agricultural or residential zoning.
Yes, sir.
Is this in the same block as that?
It is in the same block, but they got a variance. That's part of the variance request. It's in your packet. The variance was approved by the Planning Commission, so that issue has been resolved. That was a request, is that it be allowed on a block because there were special circumstances about this one.
So with the variance, it would, okay, let me ask you this. Why do they need a variance on this one?
Because they were on the same block with the residential property.
So would it been, so with the tattoo parlor being on the same block, is there any way, what would we have to do to take that shopping center out of the block, I guess? Is there any way to change that? You see what I'm saying? So it's not, I mean, because you got all these other businesses, but then can we rezone that section there?
Well, most of the property along Pass Road is either zoned LB or NB, which are actually good zonings for that area because it takes into consideration that there's residential properties right behind it. But in this particular case, the argument that was made to the Planning Commission was that, yes, there are some residential houses on this block, but they all face the opposite direction. And a variance, whenever you're considering a variance, you have to show that there's a hardship that was not created by the landowner. And so he has a building that's been there since way before the last LDO was approved. And so he actually has what is considered a hardship for this, to allow this tenant to go in. And that was the argument they made to the Planning Commission for the variance, and it was approved.
So if we approve this would just open up the door for more people to come in and try to get variances to try to do different things like this?
Well, we always have people asking for variances, and they're for different reasons, but those are called quasi-judicial decisions. So any variance request that's approved by the Zoning Board of Adjustments and Appeals, which is the Planning Commission serving in a secondary role, that appeal would go to court if someone appealed that. When the Planning Commission serves as a Planning Commission, their decisions are a recommendation. And so any appeal from the Planning Commission would come to the City Council.
What zoning would they need to do it by right?
They'd have to go to CB, and believe me, the CB zoning would create much more problems for the residential neighborhood than the NB does, because you could actually have nightclubs and bars and things like that in that shopping center.
Yes. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Jerry, explain the reason for the variance again, if you can, please.
The variance is because that this property existed, and it's on the same block.
Correct.
Some residential properties are on that face the opposite direction.
All right, thank you. We had this similar case maybe in the last couple of years, I think 2.5 years ago, a little farther east on Pass Road, because everything on either side of Pass Road is own neighborhood business. But in this previous case, it was a tattoo parlor also, and it was on the same block as a strip of residential housing.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, my position on that was that I was not in favor of a variance for that, and I'm going to stick with my position on this. So that's where I stand on the issue. Thank you.
Mr. Marshall, you got something?
Mr. Creel, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mr. Creel, you got something?
No.
Just a quick question. When was the last time the LDO was updated?
2010.
2010.
November 2010, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Marshall.
Okay. My question is really, if you hold off, my question is actually I want to verify with the police. Mr. Chief. Do we have any problems in this city with you getting calls about tattoo parlors?
I can't think of one time other than equipment being stolen that we got called to a tattoo parlor. Maybe a disorderly person from time to time, but nothing pops in my mind other than one time some equipment was stolen.
You would get more calls about a Burger King almost than a tattoo parlor. It's a Burger King right across the street.
From time to time, we'll get called there, but nothing major there either.
Okay, thank you, sir. Your next question for Mr. Weaver. Surprised. You've been in the military for how long, sir?
37 years, 8 months, 17 days.
How many hours, sir?
A lot.
I'll have to get back with you.
I would assume that all those years you traveled to a lot of military bases.
Yes, sir.
Outside of every military base, have you ever seen a military base that did not have any tattoo parlors outside?
No.
It's just kind of a normal thing.
Yes.
Have you noticed any of them being rowdy, bad, causing problems?
Not in this state.
Okay. All right. I served in the Army Reserves, and I traveled, and I went to a lot of military bases, and it's just normal. You're going to go to every military base you go to, go outside that gate, you're going to find a tattoo bar and a pizza shop.
So you got one too, then? Is that what you're saying?
My mama told me no, so I'm from the South, and mama say no, because she dead don't mean nothing.
I don't think the tattoo parlor is up for debate or we're talking about it. It's more of the zoning where it's located and the area of the variance that they're asking for. It's nothing to do with the tattoo shop. I think it would be anything that would be in this variance is what we're just concerned about. That's all. It's not the tattoo parlor itself. It's nothing to do with the tattoo parlor. That's all I have.
Councilman Mark, I don't have a tattoo either, so.
Mr. Abide, so if any councilman up here has a tattoo, do they have to recuse themselves? No, I'm sorry, I digress. I do have a couple questions, Director. So I just want to...
Do you know what my tattoo is?
We don't need to know that.
It says right here.
I don't want to know.
Biloxi.
Okay. All right. I just want to understand what you said earlier. Out of the 13 planning commissioners, how many did you say voted for it and how many against it?
All of them.
Okay.
All 13 voted for it.
On this area, and this is Pass Road, correct, that we're talking about. So along Pass Road, how many conditional use approvals are along, say, in a 1 mile radius or 1 mile linear stretch in this area?
I don't have an exact answer for you to that, but I can tell you that the other tattoo parlors that are in this area did get conditional use. Think about the way that this shopping center is laid out. It's an L-shaped shopping center where the existing Mr. Greek and those back up to those houses that face there. But this tenant space is way up on the front, right at Pass Road. So the shopping center itself provides a buffer between the tattoo parlor and the houses that face that other direction.
Okay. You also, I want you to clarify this, you said that the property in question obtained a variance.
Yes, sir.
And again, I want to make sure I understand clearly the purpose of the variance is, I think I heard you, is when it creates a hardship for that property owner.
That's
and
correct.
That's when it's considered to give them a variance, correct?
It gives them the argument for a variance, yes.
So they argued for the variance and they were approved for the variance, so now they are legal as far as the use of this property if we move forward. It isn't anything that the property is now illegal because of that variance. They become eligible for conditional use.
If the city council approves this, then I can issue them a business license for conditional use, a conditional use permit.
Okay. The chief has said that there's been no problems with this type of business, no criminal activity that he was aware of except the theft of some property. So it doesn't seem like it would increase the risk to the community being on Pass Road, a known business corridor for this type of business should be kind of suitable for this area. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I have no other questions.
Are the owners, are there anybody here from the tattoo place? No? Okay, I'm good.
All right, no other questions? No other comments? The chair will call for the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 4-3. Next item.
Resolution designating one magnolia tree as a majestic tree located within the city right-of-way at the southwest corner of Queerens Avenue and Esposito Street.
Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gray, seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Gray, you have the floor.
I don't know if anybody has rode by and seen this magnolia tree, but it's a beautiful tree that's really. Okay.
That's a pretty tree.
Man, there's a bunch of them.
Nice tree.
Wow. Here we go.
Couldn't see the tree for the forest.
Still a pretty tree.
Man,
Somewhere.
Can you do it in color? No.
I think that's a stump.
There we go.
And this tree is kind of on the corner of, kind of behind Howard and Porter. I mean, it's a tall tree. But you can see all the shade that it puts, so that's I would like to see this as a majestic tree. That's all I have.
Mr. Tisdale, you got anything to add?
It's a pretty magnolia tree.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to chime in on the tree? And
Quick question.
their 2 cents?
Is this the one that blooms? Does this bloom? Is this a magnolia that blooms?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. No other questions? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Item C.
Resolution designating a live oak tree as a majestic tree located at 622 Bayview Avenue.
Chair entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Marshall. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Marshall.
We good.
We good. Mr. Tisdale, you good?
Yeah.
You good?
Looks like me boogie woogieing.
Mr. Creel, you good?
Thank you.
I'm all good.
All right, everybody else good with this?
I'm good.
Call for the question. All in favor? All,
This is the tree behind the old brick house.
all opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Item D.
Resolution to correct a final subdivision plat for the reserve at Marsh Island subdivision.
Chair entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Creel.
So this is a new subdivision, well, a new area of houses being built on your way to the causeway. The area we're updating is about 3,000 square foot on either side of the subdivision that was earnestly set aside for common city right-of-ways. They noticed the error back in December and have submitted for it to be updated to where this is going to be the entrance, and it'll be common area for the subdivision right here. As you're heading towards the causeway, right before you make the left, it's the subdivision right there on the right-hand side. Very nice subdivision, and the entrance is going to be nice as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Creel. Mr. Tisdale?
Yes, the Jerry Creel. If you don't mind. Thank you, Jerry. I've never seen one of these come to us before, so I'm assuming it's very, very rare. It's probably an oversight, but can you?
It was. What it is that if you look at the drawing that you have, those two little triangular areas right at the entrance, in the original subdivision plat, were actually dedicated to the city. All this is a correction to take those two little triangular areas and give them back to the developer so that they can put entrance signs there at the entrance to the subdivision. So that's what it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Anyone else? Any questions, comments? Call for the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Item E.
Resolution authorizing facility rental agreement with Discipleship 33 Ministries and approving a reduction of facility rental fees for the Pops Ferry pickleball courts.
Chair entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
All right, made by Mr. Gray. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marshall. Mr. Gray, you have the floor.
Is anybody here with the 33 ministry? come up and talk. Jamie? Can you just, I mean, I noticed this program, I mean, Chief Miller has talked highly of this program.
Right. Everything, all the information that was brought to us, this group is doing a fundraiser pickleball tournament out of Pops Ferry, and any of the proceeds that are made off this tournament will actually go back into the Discipleship 33 Ministries organization. So it's a fundraiser for that organization.
So they rent the whole pickleball?
2 days, all 12 courts, 50% reduction.
Okay, that's all I have.
I have a question, Jamie. Mr. Lee, what is your estimated cost for a little small event like this? What is our cost?
Our cost?
Yeah, for a 2-day event
Very
like this.
minimal, because we don't man the facility. The pickleball courts at Pops Ferry have a tumbler lock that we don't have to man. So everything is available to the renter, other than maybe some trash bags or things like that, but they are responsible for taking their own trash and things like that. So as far as manpower or resources, not unless something happens during the tournament, maybe a plumbing issue or something like that, we would be responsible for.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Marshall?
Mr. Creel, is that your ward?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Mr. Creel?
So Jamie, real quick, just looking at the exhibits that were attached to this, Mr. Errant, he estimated the number of participants at 200 plus. However, on the security arrangements, the total number of individuals is expected to attend is 120. I'm assuming that there's a cost associated with the 120 and there would be an increased cost associated with the 200 plus. Would that be fair to say?
I'm not sure on that with the PD. Normally, I mean, of course, I don't want to speak for Chief by any means, but, on a event like this, normally PD will just do an extra patrol or something around, just due to the nature of the event. You start getting a lot of people, or an outdoor event with alcohol and things like that, of course, police presence.
So how often do we rent the pickleball courts exclusively like this? This is the first time?
As far as I know, maybe I could count them on one hand.
Okay. Is it so the reduction's 275 and the total is 550. So that would lead me to believe that it's 275 per day to rent?
Correct. It's $300 for 1 day. Then if you rent it for 2 days, it goes to $275 per day for the 2 days.
And then is there a deposit?
There is a deposit, and that has been paid.
That has been paid?
Yes, sir.
So based on the patrol, is there officers that will be dedicated to this area, or? I'm just looking at traffic and then the discrepancy. You got 120, then you got 200 plus. So now you're looking at additional cars coming in and out of that area right there.
Typically on an event like this, if there's alcohol involved, he's correct. Then they have to, all city facilities, you have to have an officer present. But in events like this, typically we just extra patrol them, put it out to the patrol ship that's working, so it's no extra cost to the city. If it were something that they had to have an officer, then we use our off-duty management company, and the renter is responsible for paying the officer.
Okay, and then Mr. Errant has, the proposed time is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, on the security request, we're at 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So what time would this event conclude, do we expect?
I can't answer that, but under normal circumstances, usually the times that they request with us are the times they put on the security forms. It may be as simple as the tournament goes from 8 to 5, then they clean up from 5 to 6, but I really can't answer that question.
Well, I guess the only reason I'm asking for an answer is simply because you and I both know how well attended those pickleball courts are. We're displacing the avid pickleballers that are there on a weekend.
Sure.
And they're going to be looking to play, so I don't know whether to tell them 6 p.m. or 5 p.m.
I think that's something that I can find out if need be, yes, sir.
Okay. All right, that's all. Thank you.
Mr. Tisdale?
Yeah, I just want to clarify my vote. I'm not supporting this again. I've not approved probably 90% of these rental facility agreements.
Yes, sir.
Just for financial reasons. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Shoemaker? Nothing? Anyone else?
Yeah, now, this 33 Minute Street, they are, this, I want to say this is a sobriety, like a rehab for alcohol and drug and alcohol treatment plant, facility. So there wouldn't be no alcohol involved. I hope not. So I would support it. I mean, this is getting them something to do and getting them off the street.
All right, there have been no other questions. Call for the question. All in favor? Those opposed? 2, 3. Passes 4-3. Need a motion on the consent?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Creel?
Let's see here. Item C. So this is our creative way of assisting with overtime for police department.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate, it took a lot of time, a lot of due diligence, and a lot of sacrifice on your end for you to come up and forego these monies, and I think kudos goes out to you and Mr. Weaver for sitting down and coming up with $500,000 in your budget. So my questions were, these large cuts, these large expenditures, for example, other debt principal, the $130,000, are you, what are we foregoing in that area, just in 20 words or less?
So we're not foregoing anything. What we did is October 1st, we started looking at everything. The team did a great job, being fiscally responsible, and we were able to not forego anything. We're still getting everything that we asked for, requested, need, and the money was there to be able to move to this account.
Perfect. And just looking at these real quick, you got machinery equipment rental, $33,000, and then a small tools with $36,000. Is that something that maybe we're putting off until next year that we don't need now, or is that just going to go away indefinitely?
No, again, being fiscally responsible, let's say they had to buy a hammer for $50. They were able to find it for $25, things like that. So that's where I want to say.
That's more or less savings than foregoing.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And then your convention and conference training, are we sending less officers for the training, or how does that?
Still sending them to the same schools, academies, everything. We're hosting a lot of stuff here in Biloxi at our new training facility, which has helped us out tremendously. At the end of this year, this will be our first full year in it, so we'll be able to show the cost savings there that weren't able to project in the past.
Great. Thank you again for your efforts on that. Much appreciated. And I'm sure your staff appreciates it as well now. So it kind of lightens the load on you guys right there. Let's see. So I know it was discussed earlier with, real quick on item J, and it's just a vague question, is a lot of the things that we have put up for surplus in recent agendas, have we sold anything? I mean, have we, do we have? Yeah, item J is just declared surplus. I know we've done a lot with the police department. We've done some for parks and public works. So have we benefited any on any of the auctions and sold? And
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can tell you that, for instance, we had 2 old Tahoes. We sold them for $12,000. So
did Mike Nail buy one?
How much?
What?
But the whole list I couldn't tell you about, but we have sold quite a bit throughout all the departments.
Yeah, and I don't know if we need that update or not, but it would just on a random basis, if we could say, hey, surplus, if we get, we capitalize on that there. I know we talked about OP and Q. So And we brought that up and consolidating. So 1073 included water and sewer, where 1025 was just mostly for paving. And so one was citywide paving and the other was municipal repairs to include the water and sewer, correct?
Correct.
So now we're just putting water, sewer, municipal repairs, and citywide paving into one.
Correct.
Okay, and then, so what we carry over is just the encumbered and the budget available.
Correct.
All right, and that's for all,
And that's for all of it.
for the GO, for the capital projects, and for water and sewer.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect, thank you. So let's see. Okay, so item S. Just quick clarification from my side. So it looks like this was denied in 2022, but then there was an appeal?
Yes. The preliminary plat, I believe, was denied. It went to court. I don't know all the details of that. The judge overruled it, so they got permission to proceed forward with their subdivision. This agreement here is where they needed to do an off-site water line to serve their subdivision. And we entered into basically this MOU with them because we wanted to upsize the water line to a 16 so that we can get better service, better pressure for going up Shorecrest. And so we came to this agreement where we buy the materials, they'll install it at no charge to the city, since it's mutually beneficial to both of us.
So the only question is, I think it's $175,000 that's inflated cost, because is there a reason why we didn't buy the materials back?
Well,
when we entered into the agreement?
yes, because when we first entered into the agreement, they discovered there was a gas main crossing. Well, they knew there was a gas main crossing, but they had a hiccup with the gas company getting permission to cross that gas main, one of those high pressure gas mains. And so they said, can we hold off because we're not sure what this is going to do. If they had to bore underneath that gas main, the cost's going to come much higher. So we held off at their request because they weren't really sure how it was going to impact the whole project, to be honest, at all. The whole project overall. So that was why we held off on it.
And then I'm assuming that money's included, and we have that money?
Yes, we have that money. Yes, that money, those projects were consolidating. We kind of left some money in there to purchase these materials with that money that in OP and Q.
Okay. That's perfect. That's all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Tisdale.
Yes, on the consent agenda, item A, I'm just checking the last financial report I had access to, indicated that under community relations, that line item, there was $1,500 available. But in this instance, we're authorizing the expenditure of $2,500. So we're expending more money than we have in that line item. But February report, that line item may have increased, I don't know, or maybe it's a typo, or maybe I didn't read it properly.
I'll get back to you as far as on
That's fine.
the actual money, but we will move the money over. This is the same thing that we've done for several years now. This
Gotcha.
is the only visitor's guide for the city of Biloxi.
Right, that's what it is.
As we go through this, you see the Biloxi, Main Street, Bay Area Chamber, all of us contribute to that. So this is the one that goes out to everyone and allow them to have actually a visitor's guide of what's going on with the city of Biloxi.
And I don't have a problem with the expenditure, it's just the numbers and the bookkeeping.
I'll make
so.
sure it's taken care of.
All right, on item C, this is the police overtime. I just want to make a comment, really. I know that generally the overtime, just in looking at the numbers over the years historically, runs anywhere from $900,000 a year, maybe to 1.1 or
2.6.
2.6, okay. It's a chunk, and again, I'm making a note that we just really need to work with the best figures we have when it comes to working on the fiscal year 27 budget.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, that's all. Thank you. I think you're doing a great job, Chief. Thank you. On item I, I'm sorry. You can just give me a head nod, one way or another. You don't have to get up again. On item I, this deals with Riot Rocket front cameras. I'm assuming these are cameras for the front of the vehicle, or?
Yes, sir. That's they hook into the rocket system, which is basically your network. That's the upfits for our 10 new vehicles.
Good deal. That's what I figured, but I wanted to be sure. Thank you, sir. Next item is item K. Let's see, resolution amending the budget, recognize interest. All right, the bond was issued 9 years ago.
Correct.
Okay, so why are we haven't spent this bond money in 9 years? Bear with me for a moment, Rachel. I just recall Jason Thomas, who may or may no longer be here, but he's not, is he hiding behind you, Jane? No. He may. Okay, no. Okay, that comment keeps rattling around in my head that Jason made, that we really need to have these funds, for lack of the proper term, committed to be spent within 3 years or whatever. I would assume that applies to these limited tax port bonds.
Certain percentage.
Right, a certain percentage, but
But there are also conditions where you can spend that.
no.
Once we dip below the 85%, then we're good.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is 9 years ago, we needed to have this money, we sold the bonds, and yet 9 years later, I'm assuming that we would have addressed whatever issues we were going to address.
This is the interest that's remaining.
Okay,
Spent the last few, I think my last invoice was maybe $50,000, and that was the end of the funds. But we're recognizing the interest that remains in a bank account, so it's not a matter of holding
beyond holding the principal. I get that. Do we just don't have any projects to spend it on in the past, or what are we hanging on to it for? I guess and this is a bigger question, and help me understand, because we're talking about a bond issue now, and if we're going to borrow this money, I'm assuming we have a plan to spend it, we've got a timeline to spend it, and we know what projects we're going to
Let me say this, going back to the $14 million bond that we borrowed the other day, years ago for the A.J. Holloway, we accrued something like, because of the time what we borrowed it for and by the time we spent it, we accrued interest, okay? And that was, on $14 million, it's about $600,000.
Sure.
Right, and we didn't recognize it until we finished, and so we had to do a similar thing for about $600,000 of that. And this is similarly what we did, so you got $50,000 residual that we want to put someplace else.
Never recognize interest. Usually we don't, until we get to the very
End of the deal.
All right, so
bond, then there's that.
Spent what we're supposed to be spent on the project, and now.
Sure. And in this case, we're talking about $13,000.
That's correct.
Okay. So this interest is going to be where? Do we have plans to spend it, or what fund is it going to be, or what line item is it going to be dumped into?
It's going into the port repair project.
Okay, Project 1102, port and pier repairs. I take it that we always have, there's always some kind of port or pier to repair. We got so many of them. That would be an accurate statement, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next item, let's see, we did K. Let's look at item N. If I read this correctly, and maybe I did not, but
I read it the same way.
Are we hiring a driver for a city supervisor?
Emma?
Right in. That is, our previous temp employee contracts did not allow for their temp employees to drive a city vehicle. Well, we have a rare occasion where we might be out working and we need to send a temp employee to go run and get something.
Okay.
And so basically, we worked through the issue of that with them. They can't drive another temp employee. They can't drive any other city employees other than a supervisor. It's an express employment policy. but they can get in a car themselves and like run back to the shop and get more weed eater string or a shovel or whatever.
Okay, so we're not going to drive around, say, Mr. Abide all day, every day in the city
Would
vehicle.
love to, but we're not going to today.
Long drive on a short pier. All right, thank you. All right, if we could look at OPQ&S, kind of as a group. In O, we're creating municipal repairs and maintenance, and we're combining P and Q. We're closing those projects. And with the transfers, we ultimately end up putting, I think it's about a little less than 1.2 million into project 1127. That would be accurate?
Correct.
And in item S, we're also paying that, I guess, $175,000 out of project 1127.
Correct.
Correct. And that is for what we talked about, the water line, Southern Magnolia Place subdivision.
Correct.
Okay. And that is not a project that we've talked about as for possibly including into this bond issue, this proposed, or generically referred to $18 million bond issue, correct?
No.
Okay. So do we have any other financial responsibilities for Southern Magnolia Place subdivision, or no? That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you. All right. Let's go back to, for some discussion on project 1127. I've been on the council a dozen years and never crossed, you explained it earlier, I think, Christie, due to age. But basically, it does make sense to close these projects. Again, one involved, was created in 2017, the other in 2019. And in the one created in 2017, that's going to be capital project 1025. We're moving the balance of that, I think, is almost 900,840. Okay. Why, since we opened that project 9 years ago, that's bond money, I'm assuming, correct?
I might have had bond money, some bond money in it, but mainly internet use tax money. Was there bond money? It might be a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, we opened, this project in 2017, and here we are 9 years later, we still hadn't spent all of that stuff.
Right.
Whatever money that amounted to, but you also said that some of that 900,000 comes from would that be MIMA, the MIMA check?
The majority of this money in these two is MIMA money. That's where we put the MIMA money to do the repair place projects.
Sure. All right, so all of this is going to go into, these funds are going to go into 1127. So 1127 is what, just a parking lot for these funds right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that's right, I get that, okay. I'm trying to take this a step at a time. So my next question is, now that we have roughly, almost 1.1 million, because we're looking at projects associated with this bond money, perhaps. We're looking at bond money. We're looking at MIMA funds, Mississippi Infrastructure Modernization Act. And then now we've got another 1.2 million that could be used for some of those projects that we're talking about funding, possibly with that bond issue. So to keep it straight in my mind and for my colleagues up here, we've got MIMA funds, we're going to receive those checks. We've got this pot of money, which is some bond money, old bond money, and some MIMA money. Are there any other funds besides MIMA dollars and bond money, or no? Is that pretty much it?
I don't think there's any bond left in this.
Okay, there may not be, and it's not that big a question. Could be a few dollars, could be likely not significant. But my point is, with all these projects we're looking at, and we haven't, with this bond issue looming, we've really not determined, bear with me, we've really not determined what projects. I know the mayor has some projects he'd like to see done. I know my colleagues up here have projects they'd like to see done. So we have the possibility of 18 million. We don't know if we're going to borrow that much, but we could borrow up to 18 million. The sources of funding that we have are the whatever bond money we get. We might only need 9 million. We might need 12 million. We might whittle that number down to 6 million. But then we have these other sources of funding and future funding, MIMA and this Project 1127, which looks like it would fit the bill for MIMA funds for the most part. But is that, that's how I have all this structured in my mind. Is that accurate?
Let me say something real quick. This is not future monies. This is monies that have been collected MIMA-wise, that we committed to projects. Rachel, jump in if you hear something different. This is money that we've already collected over the course of years that we committed to some thought of what project we were going to use, repair and replace. It was MIMA qualified stuff. So we're just moving that, which we didn't nail down what we could use that. So this is not future monies. This is stuff that we've already committed. We've already got. The money's hanging somewhere. Not the future. Not the future $3.56 million a year. This is only what has already been done. There's time to move and consolidate it to another place.
Right.
Okay.
And I would also like to add that we haven't always had this $1.1 million just sitting there. Back in December, when we finished up the Bay Vista water well project and we were able to move that MCWI money around, we transferred $621,000 into this project. So it wasn't that this money's just been sitting there doing nothing. We had it allocated in another project that when we discovered it wasn't needed there, it got moved here. So it's not.
Again, we're not moving money around. We're moving the source for a project. The money was always been in a MIMA account. The money's already been there. You just made the budget for a particular project and drawing interest on the depository.
Correct.
Okay, so now that we have this almost 1.2 million sitting there in Project 1125.
Now, it's not related to a project. It's related to a source that we allocate for a project.
Okay, it's a pot of money, but here's my question. So what projects are we going to spend that on?
Well, that's what we're going to try and determine.
Yeah, usually we use, this is repair replace. So if we have something so right now, we don't have anything lined up under repair replace to happen. There are lots of things that could happen. It's just things like when we have a washout in a road that's a little bit too big for Public Works to do. It's that money.
Okay.
Right now, there's nothing specific other than the 16-inch water line on Shorecrest. There's nothing lined up for this.
Understood.
At this moment.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. So my question is then, again, I'm getting to how much money do we need to ask for in this bond issue? That's what I'm leading to here. But let me finish, please, because we know what projects we'd like to see done in our ward. I know, Mayor, you've got 3 or 4, I think 4 top projects. There are things that you'd like to see done with this money, but we have yet to determine which projects we're going to do and how much it's going to cost. Once we can determine that, then we can look at the MIMA funds that we will receive, the bond money that we'll be asking for, and then this pot of 1.1 or 1.2 million, we might use some of that in order to lower the bond money that we have to borrow. That's the only point I'm trying to make here. That's all I'm saying.
Let's respond. Provided a list. One, the first part of the list was 12-point-something million worth of MIMA qualified projects in every one of the wards. And again, the residual of that 12 million was another 9 million, which almost, a little bit over 8, which were not things for projects wouldn't be qualified for that. That's the list. Those are things that have been identified. None of them were my projects. They were all in someone's ward. That's how you determine, what do you want to use? What do you want to do? It's not mine, it's yours. Y'all decide what you want to do, total it up, it's estimated. It's also estimated how many days it takes to design it, how many days it takes to deliver it. And that determines whether we have 3 years or enough money to use to pay for the MIMA stuff, or even for a bond, you have the timing necessary to pull it off in 3 years, or 85% of it in 3 years. Those are the projects. I've delivered that in spreadsheet form to every one of you. Pick what you want, total it up. That's why we go forward.
With all due respect, Mayor, I mean that sincerely. We want your input on this to say, because we've got a list that totals probably
19 million.
Probably, depending on which projects are still in there, may have removed, it may be as much as 23 million. But what's 4 million among friends? My point is that we need to have some dialogue with the administration to select the projects we're going to do, to be sure that, and I don't want to put words in the mouth of any councilman, so that we're all on the same page with how much we're going to borrow, what it's going to be used for, and a timeline that these projects are going to get done. A plan.
Well,
a plan.
Again, there are at least 60 projects that I've listed out with the
Gentlemen, I think we're drifting off toward the budget and bonds and all that kind of stuff. Let's stay on track with these items.
What was the original question?
With all due respect, we've already said it about 5 different ways, but there are these resolutions saying we're going to take money and we're going to place it in these accounts. That is the decision we got to make if we're going to approve these resolutions or not approve them today. So let's try to stick to the relevance of these resolutions, because we can't do anything until we start talking about spending bond money. That isn't what's before us today. So that could have been part of your council report or your mayor's report, but let's try to stick within these resolutions, please.
Let me finish.
I've made my point. My comments are concluded. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
One more point. If you look at an accounting entry for this is a budgetary move. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with budgetary actions. It would be a budget amendment to not moving the money around, just committing the money for this budget.
All right, noted. Mr. Marshall.
You can go ahead.
Mr. Tisdale, you finished?
I'm done.
Mr. Marshall, I'll come back to you.
All right. Recently, it's been a little, I'm concerned about the MIMA funds, okay? The MIMA funds that the last disbursement of MIMA funds, is any of that included in this?
No.
Okay. Where is that fund? Where are those funds at?
They're not budgeted.
They're in an account.
Yes.
The dollars that back up these forces, the budgetary accounts, are still in that account.
They're not budgeted yet. They don't show up in the budget
They're
yet.
still budgeted towards the ones we're trying to move it from one budget to the other. The money's still there. We didn't spend it until we spent it.
Are we talking about the same MIMA funds? How long have we had these MIMA funds that you're talking about?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's not our 2 or 3 recent payments that we've gotten. Do you know how old these MIMA funds? Yeah.
It doesn't.
We can.
Okay.
The capital project budget rolls.
Yeah.
Budget.
I could probably go back and find the last time we did a transfer in of MIMA funds and let you know.
This is what, budget right now. Funds to the MIMA funds from back in October. This is funds that are inside of the budget. Trying to set up a new care project, because care projects, by definition, never end. They're always going to have repairs. They're so large, and mistakes can happen. So we're trying to close out 2 repair projects, 1 clean repair project, no additional funds requested whatsoever, just a transfer into a new project.
But to be clear, those funds that you're transferring are allocated in this year, what we approved in this budget to be spent. We just don't know when those projects are going to pop up, but we know historically we've had to do repair and replace if water lines break or if some emergency happens. And that's what these funds are intended for and have been budgeted for, to be clear, different from the MIMA funds that have been allocated for something that's in dispute.
Yes.
So to speak.
That's right.
Does that clarify it a little bit, Mr.
How
Marshall?
long have we had 1025?
2017.
Okay, before then, what do we use?
We're using, was it 901, please?
I don't remember off the top of my head what we used before. Yes, they do. They all have multiple sources. There's some, yeah.
And then there is, the rest is on funds from prior that have been allocated to the project. There's been no additional on funds to budget.
I got you. Okay, now, I want to just be clear because I'm asking to understand. Are we mixing restricted funds like say, the,
No.
If you look, details of this resolution. If you look at the details of this resolution, the one for 1025, there are 3 paragraphs. There's an object, there's an org, an object, and a project. That org tells us what kind of money it is, which correlates to what you can and cannot do with that money. So it's not mixing funds to use multiple sources inside of one project. That's very common. It's actually rare that you have a single source project.
what about enterprise funds? Enterprise?
There's no enterprise funds. I think there might be some water sewer coming out of, but that too is fine because that's segregated. There is.
So we are putting enterprise funds with the remaining MIMA funds all in one account.
They don't go in one account. That's why you're seeing these different, there are multiple accounts. That's why you're seeing those sections that say GOB 223C.
But they're going to 1127.
They're going into 1127. Each source has its own individual line item, so the funds are not commingled.
Okay.
If you look at the one that's closing 1025, section 1, it's $18,367, and that is in line item 3C006658C1127. That 3C, that isolates it. The monies are not commingling because they are in different line items.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'm good.
No question.
All right, Mr. Creel.
Just clarifying section N, item N on the temp. So resolution 54222 had a price per hour, but we're increasing that. So was that, did that resolution at that $17.39, was that for a period of time, or do they just come back to you arbitrarily and increase it from the 17 to the 1739 to 1797? Item N does include a pay raise for your temp employees. I was just seeing if we were under a contract for a certain at the time at a certain hour, per hour, or?
No, I need to check on that because it wasn't supposed to be any increase.
Okay.
In hourly rate.
Yeah.
So I will check on that. If maybe y'all want to just hold that, can I ask them to hold that or pull that till we have a chance to look at it?
Table it.
Yeah.
Tabled item N? Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you. I didn't
Just
catch
make
that,
a
so
note.
thank you.
We'll get to the tables
Perfect,
in a
thank you.
minute. All right, I got a question. Anybody else? Mr. Shoemaker, you got any items? Anybody had any other items on here? Item F, it's a $100,000 expenditure. It's for control panels for lift stations. Just kind of elaborate on that. I noticed a lot of them are in Ward 6, Live Oak on the Bay. That's by Brody Road, Commerce Park by Santa Maria Del Mar, Love's Truck Stop by Holly Bluff, Lamy Street by Pelican Bayou, and then Rue Palafox, which is not in Ward 6. But what are we doing there? We're upgrading, or they're just getting old, or what?
Yes, they're getting old. We're trying to change to new technology, and also they just are wearing out, some of them.
Okay.
Basically, this is the panels that control the station, tell it the power, tell it when to turn on, when to turn off. It communicates back with our SCADA system, which is what we can look at on our computers to see how the station's running or if it's down. So we've been we have to do a little at a time because, as you can see, they're very expensive. We have 120 stations.
So before we had to depend on the red flashing light and go turn them off or on manually or something like that. And this helps us a little bit more with the technology.
Yes, we're trying to get to cellular technology where it'll automatically send us text messages and things. So, yeah.
Good.
It's us upgrading. It's going to take a while, but we're going to get there.
Good job. Good job. That's all I have. Does anybody else want to rehash something on the consent? Carrie, you got something?
I will.
Need a motion to table. Mr. Creel, would you like to make that motion, or?
Yes, at the proper time, I'd like to make a motion that we table consent agenda 5N for 1 week.
All right, we got you. Second by who? Second by Mr. Tisdale. Any discussion, Mr. Creel?
None.
Mr. Tisdale. Anyone else? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Now, I will call for approval of the consent. We'll get the exceptions afterwards. All in favor of the consent? Do I have a motion for the approval? For the consent?
Yep.
All right. It's already been first and second. All in favor of the consent? All opposed? Motion carries. Exceptions? Mr. Gray?
None.
Mr. Marshall?
Come back to me.
Mr. Nail?
None.
Mr. Creel?
None.
Mr. Tisdale?
No on item E.
Mr. Shoemaker? Mr. Marshall?
No.
And I have no exceptions. Thank you, gentlemen. Code enforcement hearings. Oh,
Yeah, no. I was going to say, before he gets started on code enforcement, can I make a comment regarding code enforcement?
yes, I'll go ahead and, a little bit out of order, but go ahead, Mr. Creel.
Just real quick, hey guys, we need to be cognizant when we're looking at these. Keep in mind, when he hits this gavel, we send a crew out there and we're paying for this, right? So looking at the numbers, since for a while, we're in excess of about $300,000 that we've not collected in outstanding code enforcement payments. So, it gets attached to their tax, to their taxes and their liens, but at the same time, collecting from the county is another story. So I'm not saying we need to be more lenient on how we're doing this, but at the same time, as we're doing it, please take that in mind, that we're paying in advance and hoping to get paid back. So
Any other comments on the council regarding Mr. Creel's comments?
So we just let the grass grow in Mr. Creel's ward, cut everything else?
Call Mike Nail.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Let's get started. Code enforcement, we'll go ahead and open it up. Mr. Jerry Creel.
Okay. Item A, 2466 West Beach Boulevard LLC. This is in Ward 5, and that case has been resolved. Item B, the estate of Daniel Hanford, 434 Diaz Avenue. This is in Ward 1. This property is still in violation.
Can you tell us
Yes, sir.
the structure part of this?
We got called out there, the police department, a lot of times what happens is the police will get called to a location, and then they'll inform us, y'all really need to come take a look at this. So code enforcement went out there. The floor is collapsing inside of this building. They had dogs in there. I have talked to Miss Hanford and her son, and they are not opposed to it being taken down. If y'all approve this, it would involve demolishing the structure and removing the vehicles that are on the property.
So we're doing a demolition on this property?
Yes, sir.
I rode by there, and it's pretty bad shape.
Yep, it is.
And it's more of a hazard than it is anything.
And homeless people are going in and out of it too, so.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I do. I got one.
Mr.
I'm
Nail?
like Mr. Krill. So if we approve this, we have to pay you can't go after the people and make them try to tear it down first?
Well, we do. I can tell you these people don't have the means to tear it down. I've known them for a long time, and we've worked with them before to get it done, but it's gotten to a point now where it just can't be saved.
So if you put those extra assessment on there for us tearing it down, then whoever buys it or retains it or buys it has to pay for those extra charges.
That's correct. That special assessment will remain on it.
We recoup it when the property, if and when it is sold.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What's the timeline?
Well, typically they will, when it gets redeemed, there's interest running on that amount. So it's true, it may take us a year or two to collect it, but we are collecting the interest on that special assessment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mr. Creel?
So, is no one living in the house now?
No.
Okay.
No one in there.
So do we have an estimated cost on how much it would cost to tear this down?
Not yet, but if the council approves this, that's what we do. Anytime there's a demolition involved, Keith has to advertise for bids on a demolition. If it's just cutting grass, we get the quotes on it. But he will advertise it for 30 days, and then we'll open sealed bids.
Okay, and you had made reference earlier that you've dealt with this family before. Do we know, if any, how many assessments we already have on their tax rolls that are uncollected?
On this property?
Yes.
I don't know. I honestly don't know, Mr. Creel.
But you know we've dealt with them before and they've been in code enforcement?
Yes, sir.
So quite possibly we could have assessments on this property.
It could be. Now, let me just tell you, up until recently, the way that it worked is that Michael Janis and I put this together, and he actually got it passed through the state. In the past, years ago, we would have to fund the money to clean up a property, and then the only time that we ever got our money back was when the property sold. But when Michael got this passed through the state, it set it up so that every year when someone goes in to pay their taxes, if there's a special assessment on it, they had to write one check to cover the taxes and the special assessment. Now, something's happened in the last year where there's some confusion over there. But as far as I know, the policy is still in place over there that the county collects the taxes and the special assessment at the same time.
I think the numbers I'm looking at for 2025, we've collected 20% of what's being assessed.
And
I mean, at one time, we were up to almost 90.
That's right.
And now we're back down to 20 in 2025.
A lot of times those are going into the tax sale, and then the person who purchases the taxes, there's a 2-year period before it can be redeemed. So now we do have trouble sometimes when nobody buys the property and it goes to the state. Then the state of Mississippi owns it, and we do then have to wait until they try to sell it, and so there's a few like that the state of Mississippi has that we're still holding the debt on.
One of Ward 7, absolutely. Yeah, I know. I mean, 90 and then drop to 56. I mean, so we're on the down. We're heading in the wrong direction with collections. That's my only comment.
The main thing is we're cleaning the property up and we're making sure it's safe and it's not a hazard, and that's important.
And there's
There may be a price tag on it, but we'll have to find, that common ground. Any other comments on this piece of property? Is there anyone here for the estate of Daniel Hanford, 434 Diaz Avenue, want to speak? No one. This case is closed.
Okay. Item C, Reginald Jerome Lechner et al., 219 Coon Street. This property is still in violation. And what we have here is just 3 junk vehicles that need to be removed.
Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of Reginald Jerome Lechner et al., 219 Coon Street? There being no one, this case is closed.
Item D, Margie C. O'Neill, 1607 Pringle Circle. This property is still in violation.
What ward is that in?
Ward 1.
Ward 1. This
And
one,
they were granted a 30-day extension February 10th.
they were, what happened is Miss O'Neill passed away. Her son contacted us and said that if we would give him 30 days, he would get it cleaned up, and it hasn't been cleaned up. And it's, all of what you see is visible from the road. So if the council passes this, we'll get a contractor to clean it up.
Has it been touched at all?
No, sir.
Anyone here to speak on behalf of Margie C. O'Neill, 1607 Pringle Circle? There being no one in this case, it's closed.
Item E, Sang Van Tran, 680 Swan Lane. This case has been resolved.
All right. Code enforcement hearings are now closed.
Most of that was Ward
Motion on the routine.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Creel.
No comments.
All right. Mr. Tisdale.
Nothing.
Any questions by any other council members on the routine? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Tisdale, you want to?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like us to adjourn in memory of Sarah Miller.
We'll all second it.
Thank you.
All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
David? Shoot that cat.
Where at?
Stop. All right, let Taco O Tuesday begin.
So guess what?